So I thought, since it's such popular news, I'd give a response to the Hamas Israel. They're calling it a war. So yeah, the war. And you know how they're trying to turn it into everybody else getting involved, everybody jumping in like a basketball game when one guy gets fouled and the other guy didn't like it and they come up swinging and all that stuff. Anyway, so this is being presented to us as if it's real news. And of course, there's real people that are suffering. However, there's an angle that's, yeah, I'd say it's never talked about on the news. But I did see a YouTube video the other day where there's I'll just say it was a black guy. That's what people commonly refer to, you know, and I'm a white guy. See, white or pink, whatever this is, and he's chocolate. Anyway, he's on his back patio, and the video starts with a guy, and he's standing there with a shotgun or a rifle, whatever it is. He's pointing off screen, and he's telling this guy, you know, put the gun down, and, you know, let's talk about it. And so somebody's trying to rob him, apparently, and, you know, it happens to be another young black man or whatever. So he talks him into it, and they go inside, and they talk about it. No shots fired, no blood, no guts, no nothing. You know, one guy started to do something that the other would offend the other person. Obviously, you know, being robbed at gunpoint is rather offensive. Anybody? Yeah. So, and there's, you know, the tongue will be offensive. You know, people will say things, or people will get offended because I'm saying things. That's fine too. But, you know, people will get offended because the sky is blue if they want. You know, they're not happy unless they're not happy. But what my point is, he did put the gun down. The robber guy did, and they did go inside and they had to talk about it. So to me, that's the real news. So, you know, people talk about stocks and bonds and the economy, and the economic advisor guys are on the YouTube saying this and that, and there's comedy, and, you know, we got all kinds of information, and it's all purported to be valuable. And but when you see a video like that, I think the title was something like, you know, there's hope for America or whatever. But yeah, so as far as I know, the robber's gun was loaded, and as far as I know, the home defender guy's gun was loaded. You know, there could have been tenseness and drama. You know, it's not, as far as I'm concerned, every gun is loaded. Every rifle, every firearm, everything. That's the way my dad taught me. If it's a firearm, it's loaded. You don't point it at something you don't want to shoot. But, so yeah, it's a menacing and threatening item to have that shoved in your face. But my point is, nobody shot. The guy just talked some sense and said, hey, you know, you don't have to go this route, and I promise I won't shoot you. Just come in and talk about it. Let's see if we can work something out. You know, maybe the guy who owned the home, maybe he had a small business. Maybe he put the guy to work. We didn't see that, but you know, if I wanted to be religious, I'd say, you know, God this and all of that, and Hashem that and this, and which it's true. There's an almighty force that's working in people's minds and hearts. But since we're human, we have to acknowledge the fact that we tend to say, I did this and I did that. You know, I went to the store. Oh, did you? Yeah, that's the way we see it. Sure. So, therefore, I'd say, yeah, the guy talked him into it, you know, that in spite of the fact that God is at work every day, miracles are happening every day. We call it nature, but it's miracles. That's the way the rabbis will put it a lot of times. But, you know, things that are impossible for us to do or imagine even sometimes are going on all the time. Like Dr. James Tour says, you know, build me one cell, one part of one cell, 1/5 of one cell. You know, just do that, you know, since you're so smart. Anyway, so yeah, he had the incentive, and he had the love, if you want to put it that way, the respect, the consideration for his neighbor. Even though his neighbor was being offensive to him, his enemy, he was loving his enemy, put it that way. So that's real news, in my opinion. If you want to plaster something all over the headlines, you know, in Germany, in Czechoslovakia, in the Gulf of whatever, the Persian Gulf. If you want to put something on the headlines, if you want to put something of value up for people to be feasting their brains on, something that's encouraging, something that has value, that's got real value to it. You know, show a human being investing in another human's life, and boy, it'd be great to see the results of that. But yeah, I think it was a TikTok video or something, and it came across my feed. But yeah, for what it's worth, I'm talking too much, but I've already got 5 minutes in here. It's way too long. The point of what I'm saying is as far as I'm concerned, that is what's going on in the world. The rest of the crap is idiots blithering around, rejecting their creator and the image that he's put inside of them to get what feels good to them at the moment. So, you know, an aircraft carrier sailed, and a fighter jet took off, and a gunshot, and ooh, ah, oh, you know, and then the tensions, the drama with the medical system. You know, greedy people made this medicine, and da-da-da. Yeah, it's true. There's wicked people doing wicked things, foolish, wicked people doing foolish, wicked things. But real news to me is when you see a guy defending his home, you know, successfully, and not only is everybody safe and sound, but the person who's causing the tension and drama is diffused, I guess you'd say, and made to realize, you know, really, I don't have to do this. I'm not required. There's no law that says I have to act this way. There's no law that says because somebody else has something and it might look better to me at the moment that I've got to go try to steal it, or, you know, because I don't have, like, for me, I don't have a mansion and a yacht. I'm not Elmer Fudd. I don't have a mansion. I don't have a yacht. So now I've got to go steal a mansion and a yacht from my neighbor, my friend, my enemy, whatever, you know, because I don't have one. I don't have something, so I have to forcefully take it from somebody else, or deceitfully take it from somebody else, whatever. You know, I've got to be covetous of what somebody else has. There's no law that says I have to do that, and I won't submit to any law that tries to say I have to do that. It's insanity. You know, we got clear instruction from the maker of the universe saying, you should not, shall not, will not covet. You don't need the things that you don't have. If you do, I'll see to it that you get them. Be faithful with what you have, and be honorable, and be respectful. So we got 7 minutes. Well, it's almost 8 of blabbering here. But the real news is things like this man has done. Like I say, I don't have a link. I don't have the actual title, but you know, in light of the fact that God, the Almighty, is having grace with everyone, everywhere, all the wicked people, all the decent people, all the religious people, all the good people, if they want to call themselves that, whatever they are, the Almighty is giving life and breath and everything else that people have all the time, continually, every day, every night, everything. There's nothing anyone can come up with that you can say, oh, look what I did. Like Stewart on SNL, you know, look what I can do, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to have someone that's so gracious to us, and we should return the favor by being gracious, not only to ourselves, but to others. And that was a gracious thing for that man to do. And, you know, if I was the popular person on YouTube, I'd say, oh, let's start a GoFundMe for this guy. But I'm not going to do that, because the Almighty is going to reward him, if not today or tomorrow, then on Judgment Day, you know, the final day, he's got his reward coming. And for people that do the opposite, whether they're tearing down others with their tongues, with their hands, with their howitzers or their nuclear bombs or whatever it is, they refuse to go along with the program and build others up in any way at all, you know, the slightest thing. It's always got to be tearing others down. Well, they got theirs coming too. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the day after. But eventually, you know, it's got to be a rough life. Always looking over your shoulder, trying to cover your tracks, trying to say, oh, I hope nobody saw me do this, or whatever it is. I don't want to engage, even because you go down a so-called rabbit hole, you know, of all the junk that people engage in to try to try to avoid the truth that they're really jerks, you know, and but so sadly some are uninformed, they're ignorant of the fact that there is another way to live, and they need to see that maybe in real life, or maybe someone needs to tell them, and maybe they were trained in that ignorance that they could just steal, kill, whatever it is, and it's justified in God's name or revenge's name, or you know, I'm better than you, that name, you know, their pride, the name of pride, whatever. But that doesn't give them an excuse, and it's still not right. All right, I know I'm not easy to listen to. I'm not a trained speaker. Haven't been to college to learn how to communicate directly and effectively, and with precision like certain people. But I did my best. Looks like the wife's coming home. I gotta go. Bye.